Hi everyone, welcome to Psychic Consultants. This is Agatha. I want to say thank you for all your support. I really appreciate it. I especially want to say thank you to people that have donated, and to let you know that I have emailed the person that won the free reading to everyone that donated in February, and the email has the title Psychic Consultants Winner ! So keep a lookout for that. A couple of things to say about this spread. So this is the love reading for March 2016. Check out your sun, your moon, and your rising sign, because all three of those can resonate, and so I would check out all three and see which one resonates the most, and that's the one for you. Also, one thing to say is check it out. If you're watching early in the month, watch it again later in the month, because sometimes it doesn't make sense and then you don't get the messages, and then if you watch it a bit later, it makes complete sense. So I would definitely recommend that as well. So I'm going to do the kind of 4 cards representing you, 4 cards representing your love, and then the 4 in the middle of the way you kind of interact with one another. A couple of things to say. Your love can represent, it's someone that you're connected to, that you love. It could even be valid for, it makes sense in terms of a different connection with a father or parent or a sister or a brother or a friend or anything. Could be that. But it is usually some kind of love connection. If you're not in a relationship, it could be just someone you have your eye on. I do talk about, if you're single or not as well. It can flip. So sometimes whatever's happening on your row and their row, it might be the opposite. That does happen sometimes. Do like, if you enjoyed it, please. It means a lot to me. Subscribe and share with people that you think would find them helpful as well. I think they're helpful. I get a lot of feedback. If you're interested in a personal reading, details will be below. Otherwise, just lots and lots of love. Thank you very much for your support. The deck that I'm using is the Centenary Rider-Waite deck. It has a couple of extra cards, which are just extra pieces of artwork that I use because I like them and I'm guided to, and they mean a lot to me. They're great cards, so they do come up in a couple. Otherwise, I will stop talking and get on with the readings. Hi Capricorn. It's a bit noisy, this recording, so I hope it's going to be okay. But I'm sorry if there's a bit of background noise, but hopefully it should go down in a minute. It's just my laptop. So yes, sorry, a lot of talking. I hope you had a wonderful February, and let's see what's going on for you for March. So for you, we have the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, the Hierophant, and the 4 of Cups. For your love, we have the High Priestess, the 2 of Swords, the Fool, and the World. And the collective energies I will put here. That. Right, the card on the bottom of the deck is the 8 of Swords. So this is about not really being able to see the truth and having lots of thoughts about things that are caging you. It's kind of like these swords. Each sword represents a thought that you have, that you're kind of placing around you and believing that you are caged and trapped, when really you're not. It's because this blindfold as well, that you perceive that you're surrounded but you're not, and that there's these bandages here that you can break free of, and you don't have to be standing in this kind of muddy water here in this greyness, in this trapped place. It's your thinking that's put you here. It's not actually reality. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not, there's a bit, I have to say, you're coming into the month with a little bit of some conflicting energy going on. Well, not conflicting energy, but conflict, literally. With this Five of Wands and this Five of Swords, it's all about kind of battle. So I do feel like there's a lot of arguing and fighting going on. It could just be kind of internally within yourself, if it's not actually happening. But I do feel that there could be quite a few that are just having some battles, literal kind of battles going on. Yeah, I mean, weirdly, I don't really feel like there's kind of any advice about it. It's just kind of like, sometimes conflict is part of life, don't freak out about it. But interestingly, I feel like you will be victorious in these battles, but you will feel as though you've kind of hurt someone else, or kind of wonder why the battle had to happen in the first place afterwards. Seems to be that, but you will win. In this five, he is the victor, but it's kind of like at the expense of other people, and he feels a bit as though it's a bit of a hollow victory because other people were hurt. But I feel like it's a necessary thing, and not to freak out about it, because it does feel like it is some kind of necessary clearing the air. Conflict, it just clears the air. I feel like it's built up for a while, and it's just tension, and it needs to kind of come out. So just be okay, be present in the conflict. Don't judge it, because that's only going to make you feel worse and make matters worse. So just allow it to play out. Not something I would usually kind of say, but that's what's coming through. The Hierophant's here, so there's someone to support you throughout all of this. Seek counsel from somebody. I'm getting that it could even be a parent or a family member, someone that's wise. Could be a professional. You might be needing the help of a doctor or a lawyer or a counsellor or some kind of thing. Or there's somebody around you that can support you throughout this conflict. And it is it is a love reading, so it is to do with someone, with this other, I do feel that is to do with them. And I think because they are represented and kind of meeting your conflict card with this High Priestess, and she is the queen of intuition, and I feel, that they maybe have made a change, or their behaviour has changed in a certain way, and you really don't understand why, and they may not be making sense to you. And it's really just because their intuition is kicked in, and they may be doing some strange things, and you perceive their behaviour as strange and has come out of nowhere, and you're not really very enamoured with it. And I think that this is what's causing the arguments. But then they because I think you may have even been a little bit vicious. You may be being a bit vicious in these arguments, and you will be. For March, it does seem like quite a big energy, because it's taking up half your cards, really, your just personal cards here, with this kind of conflict. And it's a little bit as though your feisty side is going to come out, but your love, this confuses them, and they're kind of thinking, oh, do I really want to be with someone that behaves in that way? It's kind of like you'll fight to the end and to win, which I think is a good quality. For some reason I'll kind of tell you the way it's going to play out, but it's important that you do enter into this battle. this argument. It is something important that you're talking about, and you do really want to get clarity. And sometimes that's the only way that we can find clarity, is to battle it out a bit, as long as we don't, hurt one another. But I do feel like there's a little bit of, you take it a little bit too far when you do get a bit vicious, and you may say some things that are hurtful. And you feel really bad about it afterwards. It's a big deal, this. There's some kind of conflict going on, and it's a big deal. And you're going to, it's kind of like passion. You're just passionate, and you're going to fight for it. Whatever this is, you're really going to fight for it. And you may just fight a little bit too hard and, cause some casualties in the process. And that's not going to feel good to you. But it seems that it is valid and important that you do that. That kind of has to go on, and then it just kind of ends abruptly. That energy does kind of end there. You have they do react to it. They're in a very strong position. They've got this high priestess going on. They're just doing their own thing. They're following their own intuition. They're just not really, they're not really interested in what you're doing. But they will fight their position against you. But they're not, they believe that they don't have any choice but to follow their intuition. So they're going to go with it, and they're going to fight their corner. You are going to say some things that you may regret, and you may hurt them. And I think, and there could be other people involved in this. There could be, because there's lots of kind of people here. So it could be a kind of, it could be impacting quite a few other people in your environment, in your close environment. And the consequence is that they do kind of feel, oh, whoops, a bit. They block themselves off. They close their heart, hands over heart, swords either direction, blindfolded. I'm not quite sure what I want to do now, because I've seen this side of you. And I think that you've got a big issue here with them as well. So there's a bit of a standoff that happens after this. Bit of a standoff. And I feel like you go to this person. Interestingly, the Hierophant is the kind of counterpart of the High Priestess. So there is balance here. There is a good partnership here. There is. It's just that there's a little something that needs to be worked through. But so what happens then is you then seek counsel from someone, your friends or someone. It is a wise person, and they give you some advice. But I get a little bit that you don't listen to it. You don't really want to listen to it. I kind of get the feeling that they're actually a little bit more. They have a point, you see, and you're kind of not wanting to see it, and you're being a bit stubborn and just going ahead with your desire and your point. But I feel like you will then speak to someone else about it, and they're going to give you some perspective, but it's going to be kind of more from their perspective. And I do think this is about compromise, and you're just going to need to compromise a little bit, and you don't really want to. You really believe in what you're doing, but then I think because of the end of what happened and you feel a bit bad, then you have to kind of take a little bit of a look at things and yourself, really, and what you've said. And they do too, and they take a look at you and what you said, and they kind of think, oh, I'm not quite sure. I've got a decision to make. But guess what? They then decide to take a leap of faith towards you for this. They believe in you just because they love. The Fool is a very big card in love for me, because it's the card of faith, and that's how we get anywhere. That's what love does. Love doesn't care. Love doesn't need guarantees. Love just goes. Love moves. That's what love does. Real love. And it just loves everything it touches on the way. And it doesn't need it to be anything, and it doesn't need any guarantees. And this is the energy that your other steps into. And it is related to this High Priestess card, because your intuition protects you, so you can take those leaps of faith. And they are in tune with their intuition, and their intuition says go, so they go. They have no guarantees, but they go. They go towards you again. They believe in you. But you don't believe in them. this Four of Cups is all about kind of rejecting their offer for some reason. And I think this is a bit of a heads up here to not reject it, because they are offering you the world. They've got it going on right now. Whatever they're kind of doing that's annoying you or whatever, I think it kind of is for your own good, but you just kind of don't want to see it. And sometimes you just have to be, I do think you will come round. I think you've got to tap into your own wisdom as well. There is this but also listen to this wise person that's advising you, because they do know what they're saying. But I do feel that there's quite a lot of stubbornness on your side, and you really are holding on to this idea and being a bit petulant. I think you will let go of it, but you are being a bit petulant and not wanting to take the offer when it comes back again, because there's been a bit of a standoff, I think, here. And they just go, oh, come on, let's leap in. And I think you feel like, how can you move on so quickly? How can you just go back to zero and forget everything? Because that's what the Fool's about, starting again and leaping in faith. And that's what you achieve when you do that. The world literally becomes your oyster. You leap into the world. This is the beginning. This is 0, the first card, the major arcana in most decks. And this is the world. Number 21, the last card. That's the first, that's the last. So it's kind of, you end up, that's what you get when the Fool, that's how it goes round and round in circles. You take the leap as the Fool, and then you achieve the whole world. And it happens very quickly though. They believe that the world is available, and it is available to them. I mean, they're on track, so I would go with them. They're on the right. They know what they're doing, and I do think you do get on that track, and you do. I think there's a bit of you that's just kind of playing a bit hard to get. But I do think it's because you feel it's actually kind of a lot to do with your own guilt, and it's quite difficult when somebody forgives you, and it's like you can't really forgive yourself. And it's very important that you do forgive yourself and don't waste a second of this person that really is giving you chance after chance and believing. And it's very powerful, very powerful. Let's just flip the middle cards over for the clarity. Okay, Judgment card at the top there, the Chariot, major arcana again, 9 of Swords from them, and then Page of Pentacles. So yeah, they're I feel sorry for them, because they're worried now because you don't accept. They really do care about you, and they're kind of now worried about you. When they take this leap of faith into you, and you don't take it, it's a bit that I do feel like you've got to be a little bit more aware of how you don't know how much you impact this person, basically, because they seem so strong, and they are strong, and they have a huge amount to offer you. But this kind of conflict that's going on with you, and you're not wanting, basically you've got to get on the same team and stop kind of going back and forth with this, and because it does upset them. And this is the card of anxiety and worry and not sleeping. It's like they don't sleep when you're not around. They really do love you. If you're single, there's a person coming in that really is really great, and you got to take that opportunity, because they're offering you so much here. There could be some distance between you. There could be some practical issues. There's literally distance between you, space. Because this Page of Pentacles is all about kind of practical things and working things out, and maybe money, even, material things that could be a bit of a worry, or things that aren't making sense, and trying to kind of plan that. So that could be involved in this conflict here. But again, I do feel like this is a bit of a judgment. This conflict, you see, this is judgment in the middle of this 2 of Swords and this 5 of Swords. It's when this is a good card to get in relationships. And literally, as you're being called to judgment, is this a yay or is this a nay? Is this on or is this off? Is this real? Are we going to go? And this is being called to judgment. This relationship, this connection is being called to judgment. So, what you're going to go with? They're saying yes, they're leaping. And you do too, I think, in the end. This Chariot is a go card. It's a yes card. It's a fast-moving card in towards them. So you will come around. But I think the advice is to just not waste any time. And this is necessary. And don't judge yourself, though. Don't judge yourself in the process. I do feel like it is necessary. This is kind of, this conflict, whatever, caused this judgment call to be called. And it caused them to realise that they really do want to leap towards you, in that leap of faith towards you. And they are, it does pay off with the world. But it takes you just a little bit more time. But I think it's because you kind of a little bit got to get over your stuff. And do listen to this person that can help, that's a bit of wise counsel for you. But then you will eventually accept the offer when it comes in, and then you go. This could be, because it's coming from a different place, it could be an offer from someone else as well. There could be that the reason why you don't go with this person is because there's someone else offering. But they really do have the world to offer you, so I'd be a little bit careful there. I wouldn't take that offer if it may be that you're just pondering it. But and then you go in. I don't think you do take that offer then if it's from somebody else, because this Chariot's very fast moving energy forward. But yeah, I think it will all work out. Let's take just a little outcome card to see. Okay, 6 of Swords. So I think this is that you do agree to get in the same boat and go in the same direction. You do. Oh, whoops! I've lost the bottom card now. Okay, interesting. And now we've got I'm just going to go with it. We've got the Ace of Cups on the bottom. So this is going to work out fine in the end. You will, I do think you're still being a bit stubborn for some reason. I do feel that this represents you, and you're being a bit stubborn, and they have to kind of pull you towards these good cards here. These, But this Ace of Cups has now come to the bottom of the deck, so that's emotional fulfillment. So it is going to be okay, but I think it's going to be a bit tumultuous. But it's going to be good. It's going to be for your good, for your clarity, for your clarification about what you need, calling this to judgment. And they're going to realise how much they do feel for you, and that they just want to leap. And then when their intuition says yes, and I think you will find that clarification too. And so that's all a good thing. And you will be travelling together. It could be some travel here because you've got the Chariot here, and this can also indicate travel, the 6 of Swords. So, and you've got the World, so that is, the World could indicate travel as well. So that might be something that's valid for this. Some distance. I do feel like, there could be distance with this Page of Pentacles because there's some kind of practical reason or reasoning that you're making. Right, so as a little extra card, and completely kind of different, I want to pull you a card from the Tantric Bikini Oracle by Nick Douglas and Penny Slinger. And it's kind of, quite a deeply philosophical, spiritual deck. Lots of interesting imagery and artwork on it. And I really like them. They're just a little bit food for thought. So we'll just see what comes up for you from this deck for March. Okay. Ooh, jumped out. So this is number 36, Guardian. I have used this deck before. I think I used it in January. And this did come up for one sign then, so let's give it a bit of a read, see what that has to say. Okay, so number 36, Guardian. Guardian bears the number 36, signifying entry into the higher tantric initiations. According to the classification by elements, this is a fire card, normally related to the suit of wands in the minor arcana of the traditional tarot. A huge, terrifying face of Makala, the great tantric guardian and occult personification of great time, fills the card. He is depicted holding a skull bowl from which a smaller form of himself, surrounded by flames, is seen to emerge. As a wrathful deity, he is depicted with an open-fanged mouth, wide bloodshot eyes, and fiery eyebrows. The skull bowl is the symbol of renunciation from the ways of the world and the recognition of the power inherent in the tantric path. This aspect is the guardian of the Karjudpa lineage, the tantric sect of Tibet, whose mystic form is conceived of as resting within the cavern of the heart. This card represents the presence of a most potent form of protection. Makala is the devourer of all the enemies of truth, burning up all illusion and both swallowing and creating karmas, the patterns of destiny. The drawing of this card indicates the presence of a guardian angel. So that's interesting. It's that there's something, a force on your side that's devouring all the obstacles, I feel, in your way. And you are protected, so don't worry about any of this stuff. You are protected. I think there's a lot of bits and pieces going on here over March, but you are protected, and it's all meant to be, and it's all working out exactly in the way that it's meant to. So you can trust that, and you are protected. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it. Do subscribe if you haven't subscribed to make sure you get my videos when they're uploaded, as soon as they're uploaded. Share it with friends if you feel that they might enjoy them too. If you'd like a personal reading, I will put details below the video. Personal readings are really quite good. They're accurate, and they just kind of clarify where you are, where you want to go, and give you kind of guidance of how to get there. With anything in life, love, career, I can read on anything. Otherwise, have a wonderful March. Thank you very much for your support, and I shall see you again very soon.